Hello friends! Thanks for tuning in to another tech tip. This week's tech tip is going to be about microphone and video camera settings in your web conferencing software, whether that's Zoom or Microsoft Teams, Skype, whatever it is that you use. I have had so many conversations and done so much troubleshooting with people over the past couple months on why they can't hear people or why they can't see their video. And a lot of times it's a couple of different settings. So I'm going to get into that here in just a second. The first thing to check before we get into a bunch of settings in your, I'm going to use Zoom for today's example, but the first thing to check before you get into a bunch of Zoom settings, like which microphone and which camera you have selected to use in that meeting, is to consider, do you have Bluetooth speakers, a Bluetooth headset that you've got plugged into your laptop or your computer? Because a lot of times what I've seen people do is they will have that on as they're doing their work, listening to music, and then they will put that to the side for whatever reason, to go grab some water or whatever they're doing, and then they come back and join their Zoom meeting, but they forgot that they put their headphones to the side of their computer, and they're expecting the audio to come out of their speakers. So they're looking at their mute, they're trying to figure out why can't they hear anything? Well, it's because the sound's coming out of the little earbuds to the side of their computer. And if people tell you, hey, you sound like you're in a big hallway, we can barely hear you, that's another good identifier that it's probably your Bluetooth headsets with microphones built into them, like Apple iPods, that are picking up your audio, but they can barely hear it. It's not using your web camera's speaker, which usually works a lot better. So either turn off those external Bluetooth headsets to solve the problem, or put them back in your ears so that they're close to your face for the microphone and you can actually hear what's going on in your meeting. That's a quick nod. But the rest of this video, I wanted to actually go through settings that people don't necessarily know about or haven't paid enough attention to realize, oh, this is why this is working this way. So I'm going to switch over to I'm capturing my screen right now of a Zoom call, and I'm going to show you the different settings in Zoom. Like I said before, in all the other meeting software, there's a gear icon somewhere that lets you get to the settings for which microphone and which video camera you're using for your meeting. So here we are in Zoom. I'll switch it over right now. I'm currently using my Logitech webcam. And this camera is what many people use for their Zoom meetings. It's a 1080p camera that's been around for almost a decade. The technology hasn't changed. Logitech does have some 4K cameras, and there are other competitors out there that are starting to create new cameras that do much better video. But the thing that I've found that's the best, if you do presentations through Zoom calls or any kind of teleconference video meeting software for a living, oh my gosh, it's time for you to upgrade to a DSLR camera. And it doesn't have to cost a ton of money. It does take some time to set it all up. But I want to show you the difference, and I've shown you this in other videos if you've seen some of my previous videos, but I'm going to switch over to my DSLR camera. And you can see that the quality of that video is drastically different than a webcam. And so I switched that right here in my video, as you saw. I can switch between, I use software called vMix. It's broadcasting software that allows me to do all kinds of interesting things. Like I can switch, when I'm joining a meeting, I can switch this to a timer countdown before the meeting and do a bunch of different things with that software. Oops, I really don't want to put the logo up there right now, so I will turn that off. Boom. But I'm going to switch back over to my webcam, the Logitech C920. So there you go. That's the difference between a DSLR camera and a typical webcam. But you saw right there, that's how I switch between the different cameras that my system recognizes for video. And I've got an AverMedia live streamer cam. I've got 3 different cameras connected to my computer. Most people don't have 3 cameras, but they'll have 2. They'll have their laptop built-in camera, and if it's an older laptop, it's a 720p camera, and that's just really bad. And so they will get an external webcam, like a Logitech or something, and stick that on top of their laptop. And that's how you switch between those cameras, is this setting right here. Choose one of those. Also, next to the microphone, there's an up arrow selection here, and there's 2 sections in here. One is select a microphone that you want to use, and the other is select a speaker. So I have there's a microphone in my live streamer AverMedia webcam This is the virtual microphone that's coming out of my broadcast software if I wanted to use that in this meeting. And I also have this, the microphone that's built into my Logitech, and that's what I'm using in this meeting, because what you're hearing right now is the boom mic that is connected to my broadcasting software. This is not the audio from my webcam. And I wish I could show you, but there's a technical issue with doing that between recording this and actually being in the meeting. And if I tried to do that in the meeting, it's complicated, but I can't show you the difference of the microphone right now while I'm recording my speech as I'm recording this video. But that's how you switch it. Right here is under select a microphone. You can switch which microphone that you're using currently. And that might be a quick solution if you're realizing they can't hear me and I'm not muted. That's the other thing to pay attention to. If they say they can't hear you, make sure you're unmuted. And if they say they can't see your face, well, it's pretty obvious when they can't see your face that you haven't started your video. But a lot of times people will forget that they are muted. And you'll notice right there in the middle, you are muted. Press Alt-A to unmute your microphone. I love that Zoom does that. It can tell that you're speaking, but it's not picking up any audio to send across to the meeting. So I'm going to unmute myself, and then you can choose which microphone. And here's the thing that gets squirrely, that throws people. The select a speaker. So typically, same as system would be the right answer. That's going to be whatever your system's using to play audio is the speaker that Zoom should use to play the meeting audio through. And there are so many other system things that are connected. So what these first two are my Dell monitors, and they have speakers in them. This is my Acer widescreen monitor, and it has a speaker in it. And then there's other technical reasons why I have other virtual speakers in this list. But this can get thrown off, like through a software update or a system reboot. I've seen this default back to one of my Dell monitors, and then it sounds really weird and tinny, and people just are thrown when Zoom has been working well for a while, and they sit down, they join the meeting, and it's not working. Quick aside, join your meeting early so you can test your audio, especially if it's an important meeting like a sales call, or there's a bunch of people on the call and it's just an important meeting for you to sound and look properly, to look good. Make sure you join early and test those settings out. But these are the different settings that you would play with to get it working right. This is where your speaker's at, this is where your microphone's at, and there are settings under this camera on this up arrow here. So I was hoping that would be helpful. Again, I've helped a lot of people troubleshoot these things, and just paying attention to what those settings are might help you quickly solve the problem in a future meeting if something weird's going on. Again, thanks for checking out this tech tip. If you like the video, if you enjoy the video, please like the video on YouTube. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would really help me out, and I'd really appreciate that. I hope you're having a great week. I'll talk to you soon.